Today we are going to do a needle felted Sleepy Fox. This is a little brooch. This kit is available on our website. I will pop a link in the description. This kit contains 2 medium felting needles, full instructions, 1 brooch back, 1 main colour, and then the white and the black for the accent colours. This kit does not contain a felting surface. It also doesn't have a handle for popping your needles in, although you can just use your needles just with one single needle. You don't need the handle if you don't want to. So let's get into this. So here is everything in the kit. We've got the instructions here. We've got 2 needles, little brooch back, and then our wool tops. So if we take the instructions, we need to take half of the main colour and fold into a small rectangular pillow shape, like as shown here. So when we split our wool tops, we're going to split it in this direction. You're not wanting to split it lengthways. So fold it in half. Halfway point, hands quite far apart, and let those fibres slide. Got my felting surface here. I will be using, I've got the Clover multi-tool here. I've also got my Clover pen tool with 2 needles in. So I will fold this into a rough pillow shape. And use your foam to kind of give you that resistance. Make it nice and tight, and then that means less work for later. Now we're going to start stabbing at the pillow to firm it up, and we need to start stabbing in these ends. We're going to create an oval shape. See, it's holding already, so now we can really start turning it and stabbing all around. So I've been stabbing at this for a good wee while now, and it is very firm. There's hardly any squidge to it. Slightly bigger than I was aiming for. It was meant to be about 4 centimetres by 2 centimetres by 1 centimetre. It's a wee bit bigger, that's absolutely fine. The key thing is, because this is a brooch and it's something that's going to kind of be used rather than just popped on a shelf on display, you need to make sure this is really nice and firm. Stabbing all over, all the sides as well. And it is super duper firm. So now we will go on to doing the head. I'll pop this to one side for now. So the head is taking half of the remaining main colour. So again, fold in half and split. We are going to fold one end at 90 degrees, like this. And then you're going to start rolling along this length to make a cone shape, and we're going to keep this end fluffy. I'll show you. So in here, we're rolling along there. Then I'm going to take a single needle this time because we really need some definition. I've felt this firmly. Not going to felt this end. This is what's going to attach the head onto the body. So just work on, I don't know, about 2 centimetres, if that. Essentially around about half of the size of the body. Been working this for a little bit now, and it is very firm. There's not much squidge in that. It's only about that long that I felted. This is all loose. And when I pop it on to the body, you can kind of see how all this is going to come round. So I'm quite happy with the size and the firmness of that. The next bit we're going to do is take a pinch of the white wool. And this is just to make the little white chin area. When I say pinch, I mean pinch. I'm just going to pinch a bit out. And then I'm just going to give it a rough stab just so it's holding onto my foam, not too far in. I'm going to fold it over. And then I'm going to make this into a triangle. So this is going to go along the chin. I like to take my felting needle, just fold that over. And then this one. Doesn't need to be firmly felted because we now need to attach it to the bottom of the head. You can decide whether or not you've got a top or a bottom. I don't think I really have a top or a bottom to my head. So I'm just going to pop it on there. I'm going to felt it in almost at the tip, at the nose first. And then walking my needle along the defined edge that I want. And again, the defined edge on this side. You can either just let this go down, or you can, if you stab in this direction, it will help bring those fibres up. I've got a little bit that's looking a bit bare there, so I'll just fold those fibres up and pop a wee bit more white on. Now I'm going to make sure that it's felted firmly to the chin, not so much to, I suppose, the chest area. There we go, that's holding on there firmly now. I'll pop the head to one side, and now we're going to work the tail. So we're dividing this into 3 pieces. Now that the fibres are so short, it's much easier to divide lengthways. So 1, 2 and 3. Take any one for your tail. I'm going to open these fibres up and then we're going to roll in this direction. There we go. I'm going to leave one end slightly fluffy for attaching, but I'm going to felt the rest of this firmly. So that's my tail pretty much worked. Now I'm going to take, again, a pinchy bit of white. So just pinch a little bit off. And then you're just going to wrap this around the felted end, not the fluffy end. This is just the end of his little bushy tail. Just wrap it around and stab it in. Try not to stab all the way through your piece. So what you're doing then is any fibres that you're pushing in from this side, you're just pushing out the other side. So you just need to stab just with the tip of your needle. And if you've got a bare patch, you can add a bit more white to that in a bit. Just going to stab this bit on firmly and then I can add more. Try not to leave a defined edge along here. It's up to you, but I quite like the idea that some of the little hairs on his tail are crisscrossing over. So I'll just take a tiny bit more white. I'm actually going to almost pre-felt this in my hand, so I've got a bit more control over it. And stab it onto that bare patch. That's fine. Now for the ears, I'm going to take one of the remaining 2 pieces that we've got of the main colour and split this again in half. Make sure you've got roughly the same amount in each hand or in each pile, because you want your ears to match. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to restack this, just to shorten up those fibres like that, and you can see it's just a bit more manageable length. And rough stab and start stabbing a triangle shape, just to give you a guide of where you're going. I'm going to fold over so that all my wispy ends are in one place. Quick stab, triangle shape, so it's very similar to the chin. I'm just going to fold those corners in. Fold that one in. Remember to lift it off your phone, because you don't want to get it stuck to your phone. And you can see here how I've been stabbing through this way. All these fibres are sticking out there. So now I can start firming those fibres up and really flattening them by just going in at an angle rather than straight down. Again, at an angle, and that will control all that fluff. And when you're happy with your first ear, do your second. So I have my 2 ears finished. What I'm going to do now is just take a wisp of black, and I mean a wisp. So really quite thin. I'm going to break that in half. Make sure I've got roughly the same in each hand. I'm just going to add this to the tops of my ears. Remember, if you stab too far through, it will start showing. I don't mind too much having black on both sides. Just stab that on. And make sure your sides are firmly felted as well. Now we have all our components of a fox. It's time to start popping him together. First of all, we're going to take the body, not overly fussed which side is which, and the tail. I'm going to lay the tail around the body. And just where you've got those fluffy ends that you left before, stab those in. And then you can just felt along this line to attach the tail over here. Don't felt here, because you're just going to squidge the tail then. And we can turn it over. This is going to be my bottom, the base of my brooch. So it doesn't matter too much if it doesn't look perfect underneath. There we go. Now I will pop his head on. So I'm popping that on the side so that his head meets his tail. And then with these fluffy ends, we're just going to take these down and around the body. This will need a little bit more working than the tail did to get it all firmly on there. But you can see as you attach the head, the wispy bits from the head are going over the tail as well, and that's just going to make the tail really secure on there as well. And stab at all angles. Now to attach the ears, I'm just going to sit the ear on the fox, figure out whereabouts you want it, and stab around the base of the ear. All the fluffy ends we're going to be taking over the back. And then pop the other ear on, just to make sure that you're happy with how the two sit together. Stabbing at the base. There, I'm happy with that. So now I will take all these fluffy ends around the back, and it will help cover up this seam where we have attached the head to the body. Now I am happy with how he is looking. He is super firm. You kind of can't overstab on these brooches. And these clover tools are amazing for really firming it up. Now we're just going to do his little face. So we're taking 2 wispy bits of black, literally wisps. I'm going to split that in half and roll into a small kind of sausage shape. And then with my single needle now, I'm going to pop these on his face, and I'm just going to stab in at the sides first. I'm going to kind of put them in a slight U shape just to make him look sleepy. Just take care when stabbing them in and really make sure that you keep to that defined edge. So now I've got his little sleepy eyes on, I'm just going to do his nose. Tiny bits. Tiny wispy bits. This may even be too much. I'm just going to roll it in my hand, give it a bit of a kind of pre-felt, and pop it on the end and stab it into a bit of a triangle shape. So I'm happy with how he's looking now. If you would like to make him into a brooch, you don't have to, but if you would like to, you just pop the brooch back on the bottom and then take just a small amount of some of the remaining main colour wool top. And you're just gonna stab either side, and then those little holes, just gently find where those little holes are and just stab in them. And just felt this on really firmly. Then you can fold it back on itself. Just make sure you don't stab it on the brooch back, because you will end up snapping your needle. Firmly. And then you can close it up. So he's all ready to wear. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again next Monday. Happy crafting. Bye.